these cards, I'm going to use DuraLar matte film. This is a medium weight film, it's translucent and it pretty much takes anything you throw at it. So on the cover it tells you it's good for drawing, drafting, stencil making, mixed media, and it accepts pen, lead, ink, paint, colour pencil. I'm going to use some alcohol ink and do some stamping. So I'm going to create these cards with windows because once the light shines through the matte film, it looks really beautiful. It really lets the light shine through. And I'm going to use a piece of Kraft cardstock and a piece of white. These are both about 300 GSM, so a nice weight for card making. You can buy cards with ready cut windows, but I'm going to cut my own. First thing, I'm just going to trim this to an A5 size. You can just fold this twice to make 3 regular panels. If you have a scoreboard, that really helps. I'm going to mark a window using a pencil and ruler on 2 panels so that they line up exactly, so that when I fold that front cover together, the window goes through both pieces. I'm marking in 3 centimetres from each side. You can make the window any size, and 3 centimetres from each length. And just to make sure that my windows line up exactly, I'm just putting some pencil marks in place. And I'm going to cut this a little bit different. I'm going to run it through my Big Shot machine with a Sizzix die. Now I've got my cards folded and ready, and I've got some stamped images cut out already. This is from Journal Doodles by Carabelle Studio, and this one is from Rainbow is My Favourite Colour, also by Carabelle Studio. I'm going to keep these monochrome, black and white, not going to add any colour because the colour is going to come on the DuraLar, which will sandwich in between the window. I generally work slightly bigger than the size of the window, and then I can move it around and pick the bit I like the look of the best. I'm just going to work on some white cards so you can see my colours better. And I've selected some alcohol inks. So I've got Gumball, which is my current favourite, Butterscotch, and this very pale pink, this is Salmon. Now you could use a blending tool if you want to. I prefer just to drop it directly on and just let it do its own thing. And at this stage you can even allow it to do a little bit of running and dripping. At this stage I like to just roughly cut these pieces so I know what I'm working with. Before you start stamping and working on that area, something else you might like to do is just pencil the window size, and you can see it through. So I've got those stuck in place and they are glowing in the light beautifully already. I'm going to add some stitching. Now stitching is always optional, but if you want to add stitching, now is a good point to do it because the mess will be hidden when we close the flap at the back. When I'm stitching on cards or art projects, I deliberately go for the slightly wonky look. It is actually quite hard, especially to sew in a circle. So if you deliberately go wonky, then you can't go wrong. Now all I need to do is fasten with a little bit of tape the flap and it will hide all of the mess. And now for some finishing touches. I'm using a white ink, or you could easily just use a white paint pen. And some Stickles on the image, just to help that image stand out a little bit. I finish my cards with a little quote, but of course they look their best in the light source. Allowing that light to shine through really brings these to life. Thank you so much for watching.